I think thinking has become a daring act in most companies. How many of you, just by raising your hands, have ever had to sneak a fake meeting on your calendar just to protect your time to do something? Yeah, we all have, come on. But it's funny, when I ask you this, how many of you wish you had more time to think during the day? Right, but then when you try and take the time, you have to hide it, right? Because we gotta seem busy. Because I'm busy, you're busy, we could have a busy off, right? It's kind of like when someone says to you, how are you doing? I'm busy. Oh, I'm busy, right? And we all start busy offing. So, right, I'm busy. I took 3 red eyes last night. So I feel like making time to think is so important because we say we value it, but we don't. So for example, I always like to give this anecdote of, let's say you walked into someone's office, right? You're in person. You'd walk in and you're trying to see John. And there's John sitting in his office because you need something to ask him. And he's just staring out his window. And you go, oh, John, sorry to bother you. And John says, oh no, that's okay. I was just thinking. What's the first thing that pops in your head about John? Is he okay? Get back to work? Lazy? Wish I could just sit around all day like that. Right? Thinking is a daring act, but it's very important. And I'll tell you why. But first, I need to ask you a question. Let's go to our phones. And I want you to answer this question for me. When and where do you do your very best thinking? I think I know what you were trying to say there. Shower. God, I have to laugh because I've asked this question many times. Before COVID, no one said shower. Now, it's always the number one, like everyone's just showering the hell out of things all around the world. Like, I'm showering. That's where I do my best thinking. Like people are just like decompressing in the shower. Having their White Lotus moment in the shower. Crying in the shower. Okay, let's see what we got here. Anyone surprised by this so far? Let me ask a different question. Anyone see some commonalities in this? Alone? Quiet? Not at work? Surprise! I've never had anyone say, when do I do my best thinking? Looking through emails, sitting in meetings, it's not on there, is it? Where do we spend our time? So what's interesting about this gets back to the needing more time to think. We do our best thinking typically when we are alone. I don't know about your showers. I'm going with alone on that. When it's quiet and when it's not at work. Sometimes it's at work or it's before you start work, you dive into work. And that's the reality for most people, right? Because then you get into it, right? All of a sudden your time is hijacked. But we do our best thinking when we are alone. We get our best ideas when we are alone, when our mind can just kind of wander, right? That's when you have those ahas. But we build our best ideas when we are together. And that's the problem with meetings. We think, now we're going to think, right? Now, time for us to solve a problem. Let's call a meeting. Most meetings are horrible. No one's thought through the question that we need to ask. So we get there and we come up with the same answers that we've always had, and they suck. If you give people time to think, they'll come with better answers. That's why blocking thinking time or time for deep work is such a big movement right now. I do it with my company. I know pockets of Accenture do it, Google do it, maybe you do it as well. But I mandate to my team, and sometimes you have to mandate it because you take away the fear, to block 2 hours of work on your calendar whenever you want. I work better in the morning, some people do in the afternoon, just for deep work, and keep that time sacred. Because I want them to be able to know thinking is important and that it's okay to protect their time.